We want to say happy good evening to you, wherever you are watching us. This is the Bottom Line Liberia discussions. This is where we do discuss the issues, give our opinions and analysis. We want to say welcome this beautiful Tuesday evening from our end. If you somewhere uh, on the other side, maybe in the afternoon to you, or somewhere on the other side as well in the east. It should be in the morning, early morning to you. So we want to say welcome to you wherever you're joining us from. My name is Lim Fagua, along with a host of producers. We got Jima Kamara in the UK, Paul the Lord Chilopile in the UK also, and Francis Mensa is in Sweden, and I'm here in Norway. Tonight on the program, we're going to have a very special guest, and our guest is going to be discussing a very special issue as well. So it's going to be a special night. So first, let me say welcome to my colleague Paul in Studio B in the UK. Paul, good evening, and how you doing?
Well, Linford, I'm good. Good evening from my end to you. How things?
All is well, man. All is well.
Great, great, great. It's good to be back on the Borderland discussion. I know we're going to have a very exciting program tonight. I can feel it, and I know it will be very, 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 very exciting. Francie, welcome to the Borderland.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yep. Uh, Happy Tuesday to you guys. And happy Tuesday to our viewers and those on the radio. Um, Tonight, as you stated, it's going to be a very exciting discussion today, centering on the rights of Liberians in the diaspora to vote, to cash a check. So yeah, we look forward to that.
Right.
Good. Okay, so we like to say to you guys, welcome home as usual. When we're here, we are home. uh, but let me just start off by saying that it's been a good weekend so far. The weather changing and everything is okay. So I think we set for a great winter to come. The fall is already on. Um, Everything is changing. So the health as well. We got a lot of people going around here with flu, you know. So I hope we'll be in great shape for the winter. So if any of you have anything else to say, then you can say, and then we welcome our guests to the studio.
Man,
Well,
no, I'm. Oh, Paul, go ahead.
no. Flow, Francie, I'll follow.
Oh no, man. As you stated, I know the weather, has changed. I know we all got small flus. Yeah, in my fleece, in my hoodie. It's freezing in the house. Got to get the heater on. So yeah, it is what it is. We find ourselves in Europe, yeah, and so yeah. But I look forward to a exciting interaction discourse this evening.
So
Good.
the thing is, you guys complaining about weather. Look, today I called back home. The weather was extremely hot. There's no rain. People are now embracing themselves for the heat wave that are going to take over for the next 6 months. Guys, listen, man, y'all join me. Let's go back home and be in the sunshine and enjoy the beautiful weather that God gave us and leave these people cold weather. You see, our skin color, it does not belong in the white people country. We belong on the other side. So y'all join me and start complaining about the weather. Honestly.
But everybody cannot be on the same side though. So
I mean,
there.
we grew up with mosquito eating us, and then I mean, Linford, before we bring our guests on, remember back in the day, we had to do river back when we used to go cinema before. If you get money, what do? You go down to do river to catch some no big fish and crabs and things and go and sell it. So that's the beauty of Liberia. Look, guys, y'all join me. Let's go home. Y'all leave
I
the
know,
people, y'all leave
I,
the people country.
I know, right? It's always exciting to hear about back home because that's where our heart is. No matter where we are in the diaspora, that's where our heart is. And so, for those of you in Liberia, home, whenever you hear us sitting here and talking, and people think that we just want to talk, not that we just want to talk, but it's because our hearts are still back no matter where we are. In Norway, they get someone say, they say, motor best, yeah, best, meaning out is best or away is best, but home is the best. So no matter you go, in my little Congo, even if I go to Dubai, I enjoy all the enjoyment. I know that I will return. I return home, then I fit, the crab got a little hole. Paul, and you just talk about going down do river. Those small crab that can roll like something from there. When you take one cell out, it goes when I go in the hole. That hole when you go inside is safe. And that's how Liberia is for us. So whenever we're sitting here and talking, people thinking that we just want to talk, we got more. No, we're talking because we know that Liberia is the common patrimony that we all have. And so we in the diaspora, we also have the right to discuss. And that's where our discussion tonight will take us. That we in the diaspora, we're supposed to be part of the discussions, part of the political discourse, and part of everything that happens. Because though you are on the ground, right? But if anything happens to you, we also feel a ripple of effects. So, guys, we're going to be bringing on our guest in just 1 minute. But first, this short commercial, this short reminder. Okay. That short reminder is that you are watching the Bottom Line Liberia, and we are on the radio. We're on the Bottom Line Radio. We're also coming to you on Facebook as well as YouTube. So you can join us on either of those sites and you'll get what we're talking about. I don't know if our guest is totally set. He's in the back, he's as soon
I don't
as
think, yeah. So before we get to our guest, and oh, what's happening around the world, man? What's this thing that's happening in the Middle East and happening in Europe? It's something that we can, while we wait on our guest to talk about a little bit. Though something caught my attention lately before is a guest said no. Something caught my attention. When bad thing happen, that bad thing can turn to the good. I think after the nonsense that is happening in the Middle East, the Palestinian people are going to have their own country soon. That's the sense I got of all of this nonsense that have, because people in the West that were not criticizing the Israeli government, now they're waking up. So I think something going to happen soon in our place. And I just have this feeling. And while the attention is on the Middle East, Russia is keep gaining ground on the other side. So I just want to talk about that a little bit before, if our guest ready, we'll bring him on. I don't know what you guys, how you see it. It's just a thought.
Well, from my side, I know that they say every bad soul get bad medicine, and they say when the situation get worse, it can get better. So because there are two opposite opposite worlds, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it didn't get worse, it will not get better. It got to get worse before it gets better.
Yeah.
So if probably this will be the end of this whole century-long war, where every time, after every 5 or 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, whatever the time intervals may be,
Mm-hmm.
there is an Israeli-Palestinian clash. And imagine how many people have died, innocent people. Even the people who are fighting, how many of them have died? So, it's troubling, and we hope that the world can wake up, because there is no way two people living side by side can be at loggerheads all the time
Yeah.
and expect that things will be better. No way, it's not possible. There must be a solution once and for all. It has to be give and take. The thing about war, from my own experience, having lived in a war-torn country or a war-affected country, the thing about war is that there is no clear winner to say, okay, the war started. John Brown was a clear winner. It killed all the other people. It can happen. Even that one person will still live, and probably that one person may be putting on resistance. So there is no clear winner in any war. It has to be give and take. It has to be like concession. Okay, what do you want? Why are you fighting me? My man, Paul, I want your glasses. I want 14. Okay, my man, you know what happened? I can't see without the glasses, but can we see if two of us can work together and buy another pair of glasses for you? Oh, but there is no Goliath in any world to say, or no David in any world to say, I will win all the people and walk away with the victory. No, no trophy. Who's awarding you the trophy? When football game play, when the people win, they can get a trophy. But what I don't see anybody award anybody trophy. No,
That's
no
right.
war. No, I don't know.
Yeah.
Private Francis gets something to say. You know, we can bring Jim.
Look, it's so disturbing that in the 21st century, uh, that people we will still be hearing the rumors of war, and the war is raging, at the pace it is going on. My heart goes out to the people, especially the people in the Pakistan, in Lebanon. Uh, it's so unfair that the situation is like the West, America, England, Germany, France have tied the hands of these people over the years and just allowed Israel to bloody them up. Keep punching it. They don't have any means of protection. Uh, Israel occupied Lebanon over 18 years and nothing happened. So look, the West is complicit in the whole uh, genocide, murder is going on with the people of the Gaza and the Palestinians and the Lebanese. As it relates to Russia and Ukraine, it's so unfortunate again. The West is putting all the resources into Ukraine. We are sucking out the oxygen of the people of the Gaza, Somalia, Sudan, in the Congo. I mean, you name it. So the more Israel hits the Palestinian and Lebanese, the more Russia will hit the Ukrainians. So it's like Russia is paying a tit for tat, because how would the West condemn America and her group and her allies who condemn Russia? So Russia said, "All right, so you can condemn Israel. We will start using our ballistic missiles that we have, and how Russia is rapidly gaining grounds in Ukraine." So that's all for me, my brother. It's so unfair.
Jima, I don't know how you look at this war. How is it affecting global peace? Because for me, I'm taking it back. Let's go pre-war. United Nations Day, where they had a League of Nations. Then I think there was another group before the League of Nations came. But before then, before the World War One, there were wars, but it was like people gaining territory. They want to just fight each other. It was a large scale war. But okay, let's say that was primitive days, right? Before UN and all the things, before League of Nations, that was primitive days, meaning that people would stay close, so anybody could do anything. But then we became advanced. Then we brought the idea of League of Nations. Then after that, we brought United Nations, meaning all the nations should be one, right? We should all be one people. Then meaning that we get sense now that all the war that was going on way by primitive day were not good. So we brought the UN to stop war and bring peace. But in the wake of that, people started making all the dangerous weapons. People started, creating conventional wars, and that there is war almost everywhere around the world. And then we still have UN. So Jima, how you look at it? We can't hear you. Okay, probably Jima got some problem with his sound there. He'll be working on it. But guys, I think it's just unfortunate that we can have anything called United Nations and we stay, like Francis said, in this 21st century, almost going to the 22nd century, then we stay hearing about war. So then let it get dissolved, the whole United Nations once and for all, and probably make it with some kind of social club where all the country can go and dance. After dancing, they come home, and that's it, because then nobody will be dependent on anything. Then everybody will be because some countries actually they depend on the United Nations and say, "Oh, you know what happened? In a war, there's a group that will make peace." But like as it is now, looking at the US, not functional. It's just a big bulldog toothless bulldogs sitting there and barking for nothing. So let them just dissolve it, let them make it with some kind of social club. At the end of the year, they call everybody, they all come with me, big party. After eating and drinking, we'll go back home instead of talking about peace.
Fantastic idea, Linford. Honestly. Yeah.
It's frustrating.
Because the thing is, the moment you have nuclear weapon, then they don't go after you. If you don't have it, then they come after you.
Oh yeah, of course. That a war order, you know. That's
Yeah.
a war order.
Yeah, but interestingly, Linford, you just brought up, there was this Dr. Lee, she was African, she was the EU representative to the United Nations. They had an interview with her just other day on the I think Al Jazeera or something. And the lady that a Nigerian lady, I think she lives in America, she's a doctor and she's an activist. She said, look, this thing is just like absolute mess right now in the United Nations. God, people going to the GA, the UNGA. She said the African leaders and the world, other people from other parts of the world, she shouldn't go there anymore. She talked about the Security Council. How far countries in the world decided fate for over 100 countries? She said that so to other people should they leave it where America, China, and Russia, then they go to the UNGA, then they go talk all the things. It's just what you call it? Fun fair. People take that, go to huge delegates, go run around. Some of them they get in limited visa there around the UN, around New York, the UN headquarters. They can't go further. And why do people treat you like that?
You know, so that I think at the end of the day, let the UN just dissolve, make it with some kind of club and say Liberia, your kind, we're having big dance, the UN dance. Everybody go, you can dance, you go, you get the resources to go because like the woman is rightly saying, 5 countries determine who get over 220 countries in the world. Okay, then you got only 5 people determining what can happen to them, what they should get, who they should be. And when something is happening to any of those smaller countries, nobody cares as long as it's not an interest. So I think, I don't know whether our guest is hearing us. Mark, if you're hearing us or we ready to bring you on, so just switch on your camera and then we can bring you on. But guys, while we still waiting for Mark, I think I saw, okay, Mark is here with us. So we got to bring Mark is on now. So let me say welcome to all of you that are watching us. You can leave your comment in the comment box. We're going to be discussing interesting topic. Tonight, Liberians are living outside of Liberia, be it America, Ghana, all of Africa, all of Europe, all over the world. Liberians are there. And they gave us some kind of name, we that live out. They call us diaspora Liberians, meaning Liberian people that do not live in the country presently, but they are Liberian, but they live in outside. So we are still Liberians, even though we live in outside. Again, we travel, we go visit, or we live into where we live in because we love the place. But we can say go back. We are still Liberians. And then anything happening in Liberia, people still know that their children out. My son in Ghana, my son in America, my son in Nigeria. Okay. But these sons and daughters in America and Ghana and everywhere around the world, they are saying that, listen, the people on the ground, they there, we know. And anything happen, they can feel it the most. But at the same time, we can also feel it. So when they elect one bad leader, that leader, everything that leader does will affect them and it will also affect us in the diaspora. Because why? They'll be crying, no money, send money. Oh, your other brother 11 last time in school, send money. Then we send him money. We're not in Liberia, but we send him money. So we say, okay, they want it affecting all of us. So we should have a saying. If you're going to elect anybody, we too should be part of the process. We should not only sit down quietly and be calling on telephone or saying do this and that to the people back home. So Mr. Muller will be here tonight and we'll be discussing these issues, whether it is possible or whether it is a good idea that people living outside of Liberia can take part in the electoral process in Liberia without need to spending money there. No, that we can sit down here and say, I want John Brown to be president. So I sign the vote. and put it in Phil or John Brown or Peter Paul or this other person. So let's welcome Mr. Mark Muller. Good evening, sir.
Uh, Gentlemen, good evening, and thank you for inviting me to your show today.
Great.
And first of all, I would like to extend my compliments to you people for this platform that you have created. And congratulations, work well done. And we will need to promote your platform uh, most widely to expand the reaches of your platform. So, congratulations to you all for a job well executed. Thank you very much also for having me once again.
Jonathan, you got anything to tell our guests before we can keep roll?
Well, welcome, Mark, to this platform, and we really be happy when we all fight to extend it to, the outreach. Before we get into the show, for the sake of our audience, can you introduce yourself to our audience? Who is Mark Muller?
Thank you.
Uh, Mike Muller, a born Liberian, living in Switzerland for many years. And I'm right now the chairman of the board of the European Federation of Liberian Association. I've been working on human rights advocacy for many years. I'm also the chairman of the International Justice Group based in the United States. And as you all know, as a brief statement, EFLA was a major stakeholder and driving force in establishing the dual citizenship that we in the diaspora are benefiting from. And obviously, we took up that lead roughly about 12 years ago, where finally, under the government of President Weah, being signed into law. As a person, I've been working in the financial industry for many years, over 25 years plus, as an economist. And I'm married with a Liberian, and I have 3 children. Thank you.
Good. Francis?
Well, welcome, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Muller, my friend and brother. And nice seeing you here today. And for full disclosure, I won't be asking Mr. Muller a lot of questions because we're working on the same thing.
He's here.
We're working on the same thing, though. So we in the fight together. We in this together. So I would chime in when it is very necessary. But it's good to have you here, and thanks for uh, your commitment in helping to spread the tentacles of this platform, worldwide, so that this is the only European-based platform, so to speak, that has been existing for more than 5 years now. So yeah. So thank you again and welcome, Mike.
Thank you, Mr. President. It's a pleasure. And as I'm going to probably be bombarded, I'm glad you being on board to give me some shield at the end of the day.
Definitely, no doubt.
I hope you guys hear me now, yeah?
Yeah, clearly.
Good afternoon. Welcome, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Muller. It's long overdue that we have you here. I think we are happy to have you as well. This is your platform. This is your place to be. This is not about bombarding. This is about getting a clear understanding of what do the Liberian diaspora want. in terms of elections in Liberia. So we were going to be clear here. We're going to respect you as our guests. We want you to be very clear, crystal clear on what do we want, how do we communicate that to our audience. So once again, my name is Jamal Kamara, based in Manchester, one of the co-hosts of this program. We want to wholeheartedly welcome you to our program tonight.
Jamel, thank you very much. It's a pleasure working with you on several different projects in the past. And obviously, the topic that we are discussing tonight is equally serious, is equally strategic, is equally mindful. But even between, we also have to crack some jokes to keep the smile on our face as we're going through the hours of discussion.
Yeah, well, I know this is what Muller is, the guy, he let laughing business. But okay, guys, let me say welcome to all of us here on the platform, the Bottom Line Liberia. Like we already said, we discuss the issues here, we give our opinions. Nobody has 100% opinion here to be right. So let me just start by saying, Mr. Muller, it's good to have you here, and we are very happy. We hope this will not be your last time here. Like you already said, you're willing to work with us to extend the reach of this platform. But let me start the ball rolling by just asking you simply, how did the idea, or in fact, let me start it this way: what do you want, like you might put it, that the diaspora Liberians should do when it comes to many Liberian politics, though they've been involved the same money, they say they support candidates, they support parties. Is that not enough? What specifically do you want them to do beyond that?
I will start with a parable. I was listening to your entry discussion concerning the motherland, Liberia, and obviously we all living in the diaspora are missing the motherland. Now you are sitting here as a son or a daughter. You have your other sister and brothers in Liberia. The father of the house have turned sick. At least they call you. They say, Linford, our father is not feeling good. You need to send money. We need to buy medication. We need to buy food to strengthen the pape. Now, you haven't spoken to the pape. You cannot get him on the phone. You have to trust your sister and brothers what they're telling you. So you collect your money. You send it to Liberia. At the same time, they call you back, say, oh, my man, the money you send is not enough. We need more money. So you gather some more money, you send it back. But in the meantime, you say, but damn, I can't hear from my father. So surprisingly, you get on the flight, you go to Liberia. Now you're on the ground. Your own house where your sister and brother bought all the medicine, cook all the food. Your father in our house, you want to enter. The door is shut in front of your nose. And you're asking yourself, well, what's wrong with my family? The time I was sending the money, they were calling me, begging to send more money. Now I sent all the money. Now I come home. Now they're closing the door in front of my nose. This is the situation as it presents himself, and we have to be crystal clear how the situation looks like. So coming to a campaign, what happened in the past, based on this parable, this is how the diaspora collectively, whether living in Europe, in other African countries, other parts of the world, including in the United States, that we have been used in the past to distribute monetary contribution. But when it comes to the decision-making process at the end of the day, the door are closed on us. And based on these facts, this cannot continue. So we in the diaspora have to change our mindset in the sense of how can we change the narrative to be a sitting partner, a sitting stakeholder on the table to be able to steer the affair of our country. There is nobody in Liberia that love Liberia more than we, the children who are sitting in the diaspora as well. That is equally love to the motherland, equally love there, and equally mindset giving that we want for our country to move forward. So that's the idea behind changing our mindset, what have been played in the past, and how we can change the narrative as we move forward from here.
Okay.
I will give you a mention in my early statement on the dual citizenship. When we came up with this idea, people said this will never going to fly. It took us a fight, and I underlined a fight, for 12 years to make it happen today. So we believe that the out of country voting is going to be not an easy ride. There are going to be challenges on the way, but we believe and collectively that we can also achieve this, that we in the diaspora can cash our votes domestically here, wherever country we are residing in Europe or in the United States, in changing the direction of our country as we move forward from here.
Thank you. Guys, we'll do the roundtable. Everybody in this first round, everybody will have the chance to ask 2 questions, and then given the answers by Mr. Muller, then we can take a second round. I know Francis will wait his time, so well, let me get back on my question. Mr. Muller, you were one of the giants, the strong forces behind the dual citizenship, especially from the European side. And like you mentioned, it took a long time. It took a fight, and one can say that you got what you wanted in that fight. And then we're coming up again to start another thing, saying that we should vote. Now people will say, but these guys are asking for too much. They wanted a dual citizenship, we go to them, then they say they want to start voting for people again. How can you address that?
I will give you another example. If you say you got what you want, this is not about me.
No,
This is about us. This is about us. It is about us as a people.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the Hatay shop on Kerry Street
Mm-hmm.
when I started addressing the issue on dual citizenship. Based on my light skin, and let me put it like that, one gentleman in the audience say, "Oh, look at the white man.
The white man won't be citizen."
The white man won't be citizen." And luckily, I had my Liberian passport in my coat. So I took it out and I showed it. I told him, I said, "Look, I already got my Liberian passport. So it's not about me that I'm advocating for. It's for my other brothers and sisters that are out there in the diaspora." So coming back in the sense of why now this journey, we have to understand we're living in the 21st century. Other countries have already established, other African countries, that the citizen living in the diaspora having the right, because it's a birthright, it's a constitutional right that we have been deprived from. Liberia is right now negotiating to have a permanent seat on the Security Council of the UN, even though without voting rights. I don't want to go into that discussion right now, but we are already lobbying for that. And Liberia is a founding member of the United Nations. That was addressed even by the president of his visit recently coming out of New York. Within the UN Charter, within the Human Rights Charter, this is our right as a people to be able to cast our vote. The question is about technicality at the end of the day. So in the 21st century, that right that is given by birth should not be deprived anymore.
Okay, we go to Paul.
Well, Mark, this is Paul, the Lord Cholope, who based in London. It's good to have you on the platform. This role that you are taking on, and I know the idea came to you by some means, but when we met in Antwerp, you brought this out. And lately, somebody in the legislature have started the same process. It's Musa Bedite. Are you in contact with him? Because he seems to push the idea as well that Liberians all over the world should have the right to vote. Are you in contact with him to push the, or how can, or do we have lobbyists? Do you have lobbyists in Liberia to lobby our parliament for this to happen?
Nice talking to you also. Greetings to our people in the UK. This is not an idea that came out today. As I stated, EFLA have been engaging himself over many years. We had the pleasure, about roughly as we were addressing the issue on the ground in Liberia concerning dual citizenship many years ago, we
Okay.
met with the then chairman of the National Election Commission. And we addressed the issue that actually, as we are attacking dual citizenship for Liberians in the diaspora, the voting right should also follow. At that time, we just entered post-war Liberia under the regime of President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. The country was in the jumpstart of recovering from post-war. So their explanation was, yes, the right is given constitutionally, but based on where the country stands today, we do not have the technical capability. We do not have the monetary capability to start engaging ourselves within that process. So we were asked from the diaspora, please relax yourself. And at the giving time, the rightful time will be given for this to be handled. So we believe with the Bouaka government, as the president have promised to the Liberian people in the diaspora during his campaign, that he is willing to make the diaspora inclusive. And if you listen to that wording of being inclusive, our understanding should be that inclusiveness is also activating our deprived birthright to be able to vote.
Jamal?
Yeah, thank you. Do you hear me, guys?
Maybe just coming back, you also mentioned in your second question, which I also want to address concerning lobbying, etc. What I also want to clearly state, even though EFLA is very instrumental, but is obviously we need the diaspora united to be able to achieve this goal at the end of the day. We have other organizations in the United States uh, which we partner with concerning the dual citizenship approach. We are talking to EULA, which is an umbrella organization in the United States. We are talking to other organizations, CCL, which CCL is one of the key organizations that help Liberians with the paper rights in the United States that every year have been prolonged. So what CCL was one of the founding member in pushing that for Liberian living in the United States. So we're talking to different other Liberian diaspora organization to be able to unite ourselves as one voice to be able to tackle this birthright which is pending. Additionally, what I can say, one of our former president of EFLA and also president now of Belgium, in the name of Mr. Kingston Wure. He just visited Liberia, and he had already a meeting with the National Election Commission, which was well received in the sense of, yes, all what I've just have stated concerning law, they have agreed, and they also want to work around on the next step. So we are going right now through the so-called due process. If we want to understand the election law in Liberia, Liberia is divided into so-called 73 election districts. So the idea will be in changing the law or adjusting the law, making the diaspora the 74th district in allowing us to vote. So based on the first engagement with NEC, it was a very positive response. Equally so, there was a visit with the Speaker of the House, which declared that he is clearly in support of a possible bill that should come into the House that he's going to support, and he's going to rally his representative in the House to support the out-of-country voting. And as you all know, we had Senator Amara Corner visiting us in Europe during the July 26th celebration, which the topic was also discussed in depth. And Senator Corner have agreed with EFLA that he's definitely going to be the point of contact in the Senate in getting his colleague aligned on board to also pass a potential bill that would then be received in the Senate. Additionally to that, it seems that the president heard during our celebration in Germany through Madam Ambassador from Germany. They had a contact, and we wrote the president directly in the name of EFLA in requesting his support and underlying his campaign promise, making the diaspora inclusive. And we are now through the EFLA leadership, we're in contact with the president office, where we're going to be coordinating with the different stakeholders in Liberia.
Thank you very much. Can I come in, sir?
Yeah, Jamal, come in.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Muller. Thank you. I first want to talk a little bit about people that know you. You seem to be, I mean, just to talk about your political background, your part of that part we need to know about anyway. Being a politician and advocate, also as an economist, a banker for a couple of years, you will agree with me that many African countries don't tend to not tend to veer into these diaspora voting for the fact that it has logistical and financial challenges. Consider Liberia with a budget under $800 million US. Where do you see us going from here?
I will say, in a sense of joking form, once all due process have been established, and when we reach to that bridge, we know how to cross it. But on a more serious note, and we have to understand, as I made the parable, we're sending money to Liberia. Based on the UN statistic, just 2 years ago, on the latest figure, Liberian in the diaspora have sent remittance to Liberia, to the motherland, of over US $550 million. So indirectly, and maybe the understanding of budget, my understanding, the budget was roughly around 600 million during the WIA administration, and now they're trying to increase it to 750. But there's a lot of discussion right now, as we know, concerning the budget anyway, and that budget have not been finally confirmed. I believe they're still under review with all the headache that is going on. I don't want to go into budget discussion right now, but what I'm trying to say here, that if the Liberian diaspora is sending over 550 million plus on the annual basis, that already qualified in sense of a monetary discussion, that we have the capability to even help to finance such a move. Okay, so we to also be willing to
let me
contribute.
interrupt you, though. Probably you didn't
No,
get. Let me
just one
rephrase.
second. Let me land quickly. There was a
I don't want to be
two-part of
first.
your question. The other one was concerning technicality. We're in the 21st century, okay? And few years ago, this interaction, me sitting in my house and discussing with you guys, would not have been possible. So I believe with all the technology development over the years, it should be possible that it can be established that we can go to our embassy to be able to cast our vote. Don't forget, Jamel, that our embassy today are equipped to issue biometric passport. So I have the strong understanding that should not be a discussion topic, though going forward, people might raise that as a caveat or as a hindrance, but such discussion would never stop us from this engagement. So from the technological standpoint, I don't think that this is any kind of discussion that cannot be established.
Okay, I just want to rephrase. So probably what I'm trying to get at is like you talk about the money, how many millions or billions of dollars we send out as the remittance to Liberia, to our country of origin. Granted, now the government is just coming out of a situation where they just took over, and we're just pushing the case of we have a right to vote, right? And the government is telling you, look, there are a lot of technical limitations. We got like legal barriers. We have voting logistics. They'll take years. But the first and foremost, do you have to have a provisions in place? How far are we with you being one of the advocates and together with the president on this platform that we have put a team together that will support the legislature or whoever is campaigning this program to push this idea to make sure this idea is put for compared to what you guys did for us for dual citizenship, which did not include any financial contribution, what we're talking about, because that was given on the vote to right to be part of Liberia as a citizen. But now this has to do with too many technicalities, financial, other provisions. So I'm just wanting to just be clear with me here. I know you've been doing this for years, and I think we have a lot of respect for you on this area. But consider the government coming to you, say, Mr. Muller, good idea, brilliant idea. It's a birthright, but now we are not financially capable to do. Despite all the remittances of Liberia, it support the economy. But it's not a budget that we set to make you to vote. How will you answer that question?
Are you saying that in understanding your question rightfully, that based on monetary restraint, that government could come to us and say, we do not have the financial capability in supporting this idea of out-of-country voting, though you guys were willing to establish that constitutional right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, correct.
Okay. Then let me change my cap and now go towards corruption. You see, understanding what it means by sending 550 million US dollar plus to Liberia is mean that we are supporting the entire economy if you're looking at a budget of roughly 600 million. So based on what we are sending to Liberia is already allowing corruption to happen. So if you're going into the budget of our country, that $600 million, you can look into it and see how we have been handled in the past. But I don't want to go too much into details. Number two, based on your discussion also previously before the show concerning what is happening globally and how can we participate concerning peace, etc. Liberia is a rich country. One should not fool himself, okay? We are sitting on billions of dollars of resources. The question here is, how are our natural resources being managed? I give you one example. If you look at the globe in the last 5-6 years, a lot of countries are building up the gold deposit. Okay. Liberia is letting foreign country take out of our gold. I give you an example. BEA Mountain, a Turkish company. Turkish is one of the key countries building up the gold position. Our currency, the Liberian dollars towards the US dollar, have been losing completely on value. There is not one barrel of gold that is sitting in our central bank, and we are sitting on millions of dollars of worth of gold in that country. So coming back in just a short statement, the money is in Liberia, and we have to understand the money flow in our country. We have to understand as a people, where is our money going? How is our money distributed? Who is in control of which concession in Liberia, to have a clear understanding. And that's why I previously said our mindset and the narrative going forward have to change. So one of the idea going forward, coming back on your show, would definitely be also economic discussion and what is happening with the Liberian money, which is also our money. It's our money. Government does not have money. It's our people's money that is distributed in the wrong way. And that can be addressed at any given time. So I am not going to take that as an excuse of government telling us in the diaspora that they don't have money to support our birthright at the end of the day. But when it comes to campaign, they are calling upon us to send our last 2 cents to support whatever candidate that want to lead the country rightfully or wrongfully. And one have to understand there's going to be a challenge. It's not going to be a walk in the park. We have roughly about 2 million plus registered voters in Liberia today. My estimation that we're going to have roughly about 5, 6, 700,000 voters in the diaspora. So with that said, you're going to have 1/3 of the voting population coming out of the diaspora. That's going to change the entire election process in Liberia. And we in the diaspora, we have to understand that to get into that fight. Because what happened in Liberia, if you ever been into a campaign, the talk is bringing bag of rice, bringing zinc to buy the people vote. Do you believe that a candidate will be traveling to the UK to bring back a rice and zinc to you to convince you in the UK that you should go and elect him at the end of the day? Or that person have to come with a clear agenda and an economic understanding what we're talking today, what is going to be happening with our resources going forward, why our people are not benefiting, why is the corruption still continuing up to today's day as we speak. So these are topics that we have to address as the people in the diaspora. And the first step was done with the dual citizenship, which is not completed. We have not reached the finish line yet. The next step strategically is for us in the diaspora to be able to cash our vote to change the narrative of our country.
Francis?
Yeah, I don't really have a question though. I just want to buttress, if I'm allowed to,
Yes. Yeah.
since Mr. Muller is the guest, the dual citizenship fight. It was not an easy fight. I would say a big thank you to Mr. Muller, to Mr. Wetty, the Kingston, and Kingston Red, and all of our partners, EULA, that put money into this fight. We don't discuss all what happened, behind the scenes, but we know what amount of money that was used to get that passed. And at the end of the day, by the I'm going to say by the grace and understanding of some of our legislators, they help push it. But during Eddie administration, the legislators there they were terrible people, man. Yeah, so about a lot of money. I mean, we about a lot of money was done put into that, and I can say for a fact here that when we are given the opportunity, the green light to say yes, and we need assistance from you guys in the diaspora, money will come to that, and we will provide the resources necessary to to get this thing going on at the other country voting. There are suggestions on the board already how we can finance it. We are talking about it, and then at the appropriate time, you know, when we meet up with the government, representative and member of the elections commission, we lay out that plan we have in as to how we gonna support this initiative or this cause, this right. So yeah.
Okay, thank you guys. So far, so good. I think Mr. Muller is on course, and the discussions are flowing, and I believe most of all the questions are being answered. But just before I ask my next question, I will make a statement, and that has to do with the question that Paul asked earlier on concerning. Oh no, I think it was Chima concerning the technical aspect of things. Okay, that was one of the questions that I had personally, because Liberia being what it is now, where people stay flashlights, they use flashlights in the night to count votes. And we're talking about voting in the diaspora. That would mean most of it will be done online. The numbers will be transmitted online, because I'm not sure if the embassies, like Matt said, if we go there to cast our vote, whether they will take all the ballots and stack it and then they put on the airplane and carry it. I don't know how they will do it. But I know Americans do vote out of the country. Norwegians even do vote out of the country. Swedish do. And that is done through a system. Once you have that proper system. In Liberia, biometric system is almost non-existent, except in few areas. In fact, it's non-existent on the grounds. Okay? People vote. So now people say, oh, we saw the people carrying the ballot paper, the trophy, and all these things. So there's problems on the ground with that already. But the comment I want to make is important, and my briefly address that we are in the 21st century. Nobody would have expected that all of us here from different countries, will be sitting and looking at each other face to face and talking and hearing ourselves at the same time. So it could be that in the diaspora, there are some Liberians who are technically advanced, and they are in the RT business. And as soon as this process is approved, is agreed upon, is legislated, somebody can say, "Look, listen, I'm an RT technician, man. We can go. I will volunteer as my contribution. I will volunteer to set up the whole system where people can, vote from outside, and it will go directly to the elections commission." So I believe that I'm not a pessimist. I'm always optimistic. I believe that things can happen as long as you want to do it. So there are people in the diaspora that will be able to do that. Concerning the money thing, it's all of us worry. But again, this is a government. Who knows? When time comes, the diaspora might be able to put up a candidate, and then people will say, okay, we're supporting our candidate. Or there are millionaires, Liberian millionaires in the diaspora. Some of them can say, no, listen, we'll support our the election commission team to support the electoral process. So, all these things are possibilities that we're looking at on the ground. But having said that, let me ask you, Mr. Muller. Somebody could argue that, listen, you guys are fighting, you guys are referring to us. We are fighting for dual citizenship. We're almost there. And somebody could say, but the easiest way you could be represented in the government is probably you send your representatives or your senatorial candidate to go contest in the election. When they win, they can represent you as a constituent, the diaspora constituent. But why do you want to be the one to come and vote? How do you address that? Do you agree to that suggestion that we can send our representatives and our candidate and then our senatorial candidate to represent us, or should we vote by all means?
A very brilliant question. And a lot of cards are on the table in the sense of additional aspect of votings. Uh, you see a lot of arguments which already have been addressed concerning money, concerning technical, concerning why you guys want to vote. As I said, it's my birthright. I've been deprived. So why should I not fight for my birthright to be established? Is additionally having a representative of the diaspora, or one seat in the Senate, one seat in the House of Representatives. That can also be discussed, and we should have an open mind as we move forward from here. But fundamentally, why should we be constantly deprived of our birthright? So that argument for me does not fly at all. So we are fighting for us that is given by birth. And we have been deprived. We have been patient based on the historical development of our country in the newest history. But we believe now the time is ripe, that the possibility, whether technology, whether money wise, it should be given, that we can now be able to cash our birthright, which we are being deprived from. So that argument, why you want it now, why it's not possible, I don't go from a negative scenario. We are on the very positive stand. We have a lot of cards on the table that can be played, but based on, as I stated, the first engagement with the two branches of government, the legislature, the executive, the response have been positive so far. We remain on the positive stand. We remain with the due process in establishing what have to be established. We're even going as far because we also have constitutional lawyers within our mix that are even already drafting a possible out-of-country bill that we will then present to the executive mansion as a possible bill as a draft. So that argument, lean forward once again, is our right. And as a right, you have to be able to execute your right at the end of the day.
Well,
Yeah, Jemai, you want to follow up? Oh,
No, go on. I will ask after you, please.
right. You know, I listened to Mark carefully, and he said something that caught my attention regarding to the 73 electoral representation or district in Liberia, and the diaspora will be the 74th if we push this thing. Now, pushing this thing as 74th, if that means in you're thinking that we have representation of, because if we represent, we become the 74th, it means we have to have people in the house to represent us. Is that a way we're going?
As stated earlier, I do not know the entire election law by heart, and I'm not a lawyer by profession. This was discussion coming out of NEC by themselves in addressing the first discussion that we had face to face. So they were explaining the setup that they already had, and that is a possible scenario that can be addressed as we move forward, going through the due process. So is an example that the diaspora could be a 74th district, but the idea was also that maybe the European diaspora could be the 74th district, the US diaspora could be the 75th district. So there was already, let's say, primarily out of the box thinking. And then coming back to your issue, as I said, all cards on the table could also lead to why not having a representative of this diaspora being in the House or in the Senate, also having somebody there that will be representing us. So that should be also followed as we move in this process going forward.
Good. So as we
And maybe
pushing for this,
coming maybe coming back again, when we stated that the process of dual citizenship took 12 years, we all learned our lesson in this process. And we also have a lot of knowledge in sense of mutual engagement at the end of the day. So saying that all cards on the table, which I don't want to publicly now disclose, but I believe that this process of out of country voting, we want for this to be established for us to be able to cast our vote come 2029. So we're talking already of a frame of roughly establishment of a bill and executed and signed by the president before that we go into the next presidency election.
Thank you. That was my follow-up question, but just answered. So Jamal, you can flow.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Muller.
You
Thank
see,
you very
Madam
much.
Mario.
Mr. Muller, thank you very much. I got two questions. One has to do with lack of information from diaspora regarding political update of access or update of information regarding political parties. Candidates in Liberia. Consider, where we are in the West. Political parties and candidates are supported by government, to budget for that. And how do diaspora make informed decision regarding political parties and candidates in Liberia with lack of information? Because if you one time you were a candidate and you were to run for a seat in Sanu County, you did before, and I want to support you, but I don't have information for you. And I'm in the diaspora. And there's no budget, like when the government does not support these political parties. They have to run their own budget for the federal pocket or raise their own money for their own political camps. Would it be fair for diasporans or Liberians in the diaspora, like they don't have information on political parties or candidates or independent candidates? So how, this is what I'm talking about, the logistics, the technicalities, all these things. Do we take these things into consideration? Because if you, the last election had about 20 political candidates for the presidency, we don't have information more. So, and they should be represented at these various embassies if they were to be elections to cast their votes. How are you going to go around that? That's one. Second, I'm going to go to the security concerns, where you think, because it's going to take place, don't you think it would carry a massive risk of fraud, manipulations, or interference of foreign entities because it's happening outside? Thank you.
Maybe quickly, before going into political party, etc. The idea of out-of-country voting is primary putting Liberia first. This is what we in the diaspora have to understand, is the motherland first and not political party. And in the sense of dissimulation of information, we already been talking technology today. This discussion that we are having with the setting, this is already globally. So as I said, our mindset in the diaspora, we have to understand the power of our voice and also the power as a citizen of Liberia. We are a citizen of Liberia, to be able to enforce that information are received and dissimulated. We have social media, all these things is taking place today. So is the enforcement of getting this information to the people. But coming back, you see, Jamel, what people in the diaspora, at least from my observation, I'm talking from my personal opinion, what we are lacking is to speak to the truth. You understand? And we have to be serious if we really want to change the narrative of our country. If you look into history, so-called undeveloped country that are now developing themselves, it was always a key part and a key role that the diaspora have played for these countries to be able to advance at the end of the day. And that's why I'm saying it's Liberia first. So it's not a political party that we from the diaspora should be aiming for, because if you want to second yourself to a political party, most likely you be limited in addressing issue. Also, as organization, even EFLA, maybe we also have to revisit our constitution of EFLA based on the fact that we are taxpayers. Because whatever money I declare myself as a taxpayer in Liberia, I have business in Liberia, I'm paying tax to the government, that this so-called political engagement or challenging the political situation in Liberia should be part of, as I said, our birthright, even now before we can even cast our vote. And if things are going wrong in our country, this platform, and I'm happy, as I said, congratulations, this platform should be a voice that we use to challenge misstep, misleadership in our country. But also, what we have to understand that I believe, based on traveling through our country, also in rural area, without depriving anybody, I believe that the so-called, how should I phrase it? Being a citizen of the Republic of Liberia, that people do not even know the right as a citizen. What right do I have? So we should also use this platform in educating our people as well. What does it mean? I'm a Liberian, I'm a born Liberian. It's not only to cast my votes, there are also other civil rights that I do have as a citizen that I can execute. So these are all ideas that we in the diaspora should be using all these social media platforms to also educate our people, not only in Liberia, I mean also in the diaspora as well. So all these things, I believe that the tools are in the box, and we just have to take the necessary tools and be able to play with it that will benefit we as a country and change the country as we are envisioning it for it to be.
Yeah, I expect you to address the security concerns. Could you speak on that, please, if you mind?
What should I say?
I was just saying that
The great United States is roughly 30 days before election. They claim to be the number one democracy on earth. I can recall 4 years ago that a lot of voice was stating that election was rigged. And if you listen to what is going on right now with open borders and people that probably not U.S. citizen, whether they can go and vote. So the component of corruption within the voting system is always going to be given. I was privileged to be this gone presidential election. I was in Liberia, and a lot of hiccup concerning manipulation of votes, et cetera, et cetera. So this is a constant situation that always going to be given in the sense of struggle of power. Can that be eliminated in the sense of a zero margin? I don't believe it. But as we move forward and address all these loopholes, definitely it can be closed. Limfer mentioned earlier in his statement concerning absentee ballots, whether it's going to be done when we reach that breach electronically, or whether we'll cash a ballot and put it in a bag that will be transported back to Liberia. The bag can be exchanged at the end of the day, and somebody can handle it. So that security aspect definitely have to be thought through. And now coming also to the technical aspect, and he raised a very good issue. We're looking at a lot of personnel within the diaspora, also in Europe, that have technical skills, whether in cybersecurity, whether in other field of security and technology. We're already identifying these personality, these character that are going to be brought on board when we reach in those discussions concerning security and technical execution at the end of the day. So, in short, absolute security definitely probably cannot be realized, but in sense of minimizing the gap, I believe that that is possible.
Okay. We are in Europe and we are discussing this issue. And if we look at the proportion of Liberians in Europe to that of the United States, I think United States carries the highest, and then Europe carries the second highest, and then coming to other African countries and Asia or whatever. Uh, and that estimate is just in the absence of proper documentation, though. But let me ask you this question: the EFLA that you are part of, in fact, you are the board chairman, did engage the fight for dual citizenship together with the EULA in America. That's the Union of Liberians in the Americas. I think Liberian Association in the Americas, EULA. And you guys work together interchangeably to go the farthest you could to gain the status of dual citizenship, which you say is not yet complete, but at least we are 99%, of the march. But the question I want to ask is, with this particular idea concerning the voting right, is EFLA engaging its counterparts? I heard you mention some group. Are you working together now, or are you planning to inform them later? How is it? How is it going? What is that cooperation with you?
We are already in constant talks. Uh, we had I will call it a so-called kick-off meeting a few months ago with several organizations from the United States, bringing everybody on the same page. And moving forward from here, as I stated, is a lot of due processing going on right now, and getting government in the totality involved. Uh, we have organizations in the United States that are also addressing the issue. So there's a lot of build up in the sense of positive build up that is going on. The idea, obviously, going to be looking into the future, that definitely so-called all Liberian Diaspora Conference on out-of-country voting definitely have to take place. We are envisioning most likely maybe next year, ending first quarter of next year as a time frame in bringing everybody together, in signing a resolution, in agreeing and as a partner working together. But simultaneously, as we're speaking now, there are a lot of side talks going on, and the response is very positive. People in the diaspora understand what all we are discussing today, so there's no diversion from that. And so I'm very positive that the willingness in uniting ourselves as one diaspora front are going to be achieved. But so far, we have a lot of field soldier individually, which is a positive stand. So that is good as we progress moving forward from here.
And quickly before Paul comes in, how do you hope to engage the population in the diaspora? Because I mean, the thing is that we all are not stationed in one country. Like if this was a European thing, you can say we'll call in one EFLA meeting, and at least people will come. But you got people everywhere, scattered everywhere, in the world. So how do you hope to get to people to inform them? Because this is about the diaspora, right? So you got two guys living in, I know, 4 Liberian guys in the Philippines, some in Thailand, and other places. How do we get to these people, to inform them? Because they too will need to have their input in case time comes and we need some support financially or whatever. So what mechanism are we putting into place to be able to reach out to other people around the world, especially areas where Liberian organizations are not organized?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer, honestly. So I don't even know whether there are Liberian living in Peru or whether Liberian living in whatever. But what we can say that we have established Liberian organization like EFLA, which is covering Europe. And I believe that the networking within Europe concerning voting rights, there are certain topic that people don't agree upon, and you understand, and where we can argue and maybe we'll find a solution. But I believe that the topic of your birthright should be a catalyst and the leverage that people would be willing to work together. And so far as this campaign, because I'm calling it a campaign for now, have started, everywhere we go, everywhere we talk, whatever organization we are speaking to, there is huge positive response. And it's not only about the voting rights also, but the frustration of not having a voice. And we are 177 years, and you understand. And every 4 years or 6 years, you have all these promises that is coming, and then at the end of the day, nothing is implemented that is beneficial for the people of the Republic of Liberia. And I believe that we in the diaspora, based on the experience that we have achieved of living outside, there's a saying in our country, you born in Bamenta in Sino, just to take my personal self, okay? And then they say you travel, right? When you're coming back, the people in the village, they're welcoming you because they want to know what experience that you have achieved on that your journey. And you understand? So the entire village will be willing to receive Linford to get the understanding what Linford have benefited, what knowledge is he bringing back to lift up our village at the end of the day. And you understand? So in that set, the diaspora value and the weight of the diaspora should be felt as we move forward from here. And I am 100% convinced that our brothers and sisters in Liberia, they are willing to support us because they call upon us already to share our knowledge that we are experiencing already. But the so-called clique were to make this transition or this transformation of our country. This is where it's lacking. And this is where we have to have our voice heard as we move forward from here. Because coming back again, from my vision of Liberia first, Linford, honestly, you should not be sending money to your family in Liberia based on the riches that we have in Liberia. Liberia should be able to sustain himself. And you understand? And that is the vision that we have to set in our mindset for that change of our country.
Just add, you asked question about the diaspora, friends, relatives, Liberians in Asia and other parts of the world. As I speak to you currently, I am networking with a lot of these brothers and sisters across the world. Um, by the virtual where I sit, as president of EFLA, and the president, as you all know, the president just launched the Liberian Diaspora Return 2024. So we are working with. I'm part of that planning committee, and I'm on. I'm the co-chair of the Diaspora Committee. That's which encompasses the diaspora as a whole, also Europe, Asia. So I am in contact with these people. We meet weekly. So there isn't a problem. There wouldn't be a problem because we have extended our network outside of the continent, and so all the things will fall into place. We just need a political will to agree that, look, hey, you guys, this is your birthright, and you guys been asking for this, and we will give it to you guys, and we will definitely execute as the chairman said, chairman of the board said. So there wouldn't be any problems.
Right. Very interesting discussion. Something came to my mind because I know the dual citizenship we fought for it. And if you check the document, my signature on some of those documents, and we even pay some of our legislature, our money went in vain. The reason why I bring you all this, the Liberian politicians have a way, they have sweet talk. They will tell you, say, oh, I will do this, and in the end, they disappoint you. Are you considering soliciting our signature, over 10,000 signatures that would force our legislature to have this debated in Parliament?
Let me go back to criminality within the legislature. At our early engagement on dual citizenship, and without calling name, based on what happened, I don't want to go into details. They asked us for $300,000 US.
Yeah.
Okay. And then I went like, it would never happen. It would never happen that we are going to pay our own legislator to be able to pass a bill. And you understand? There were some financial contribution that was given for a specific situation, but it never exceeded at the level that were initially engaged in sense of lobbying. And fast forward today, as I said, a lot of experience have been learned. We have grown also in our understanding of situation, and I do not believe that any topic concerning bribing, because it's already going into bribery, that a legislator will come to us to be bribed in we having our right executed at the end of the day. As I said, right now, everything is on the positive wave. We have other cards on the table that can be played at the given time. And I like exactly what you said. For me personally, based on my experience in job and engaging with others organization in Liberia, the so-called sweet mouth talk, as you said, a lot of sweet mouth talk we're hearing right now. We have registered that, and we'll see once the procedure have been put in place, we'll see who is honest and who is not honest. And trust me, my dear brothers on this platform, these personality will be addressed once we cross that bridge and we're seeing people that are playing false hand, because this is about Liberia. This is not about individual, and that corruption, those bribery, it have to stop. And I'm very happy being with you guys tonight. And as I said, this is a platform individually, not of my present, but this is a propaganda a machinery that you people also have to now carry on in reaching out. And I'm coming to the example of Liberian living in Thailand. I mean, we have social media. I believe that this platform is gaining voice. This platform is gaining attraction. So this is carrying the message already as a wave. And you understand? And somebody would tell somebody and say, oh, they didn't listen to bottom line. These people are talking about out of country voting, or I didn't hear it. And send me the recording. Let me listen to it. Oh, but you know, my friend in Thailand, they haven't heard about it yet. And you understand? And that carried the wave. And that's how we also get connected individually of what President Mensah mentioned, because he knows of which organization he already talking to, also Liberian organization in Africa. And obviously previously during the dual citizenship campaign, we were already in touch with a lot of these organizations as well, even though not all of them was registered at the end of the day on the paper.
Okay.
Right. Can I come in quickly, please?
Okay, yeah. If you have a quick question, because I would really love for us to take leave of our guests now. Our time is
Just one
fast
more
spent, and then
question,
we can
please.
do our post guest discussion. Let me put it that way. But Chimai can come in quickly, and then
This question was directly to Francis, the EFLA president. But anyway, he's just technically left the platform. I would just say, Mr. Chairman, if you can directly answer this question, it has to do with, I know you just spoke about some, okay, yeah, he's right. Thank you for coming back, sir.
you put
This is
Francis out
about,
in here.
this is about the, I know you've been sitting here for a couple of hours now. I mean, an hour and a half, keenly listening to us. I think the chairman has, he was doing the speaking. I want you to just ask you a question. This is directed to you, Mr. President, Mr. Mensah, Francis Mensah. I think there's a very brilliant idea put forward. I think EFLA championed the dual citizenship in this country, and you guys done it. And because we are leveled up, how do you call it, marketing or communication level is very low. This is why we don't take the credit. Now you already taking the lead now this time. Is anything planned? I think the chairman was just speaking, the board of directors chairman was just speaking with all two organizations that will take the campaign. Is anything planned, or you have on the like action plan that you're trying to do to push it forward? Make sure that you get across every library, understand the technicalities, the benefit involved, and how can we push this around? How can we get to our very constituency in Liberia to make sure our very legislators, lawmakers, to make sure this get to their ears? Is there anything your plan as the president of EFLA, which is the Liberian umbrella organization in Europe, Mr. President?
Oh, definitely, Jamel. No, we are working as a team, as a collective, in concert with our partners. Mr. Kingston Muller was in Liberia before he departed from Europe. We had a discussion, and he represented EFLA Europe. When he met the speaker, he met the election commission team. He met with the Senate secretary and a host of other government officials. So he represented EFLA, and also indeed we are working. This is not done in isolation. So there are networks already being established by EFLA, and at the appropriate time, a committee. We have a diaspora committee will be set up, and then we will work together, to ensure that this campaign is manifested to the highest level, and that we achieve that goal. So yeah, we are working with the board of the chairman of the board and I, and we are discussing, and we have our partners as well. Again, this cannot be done alone, but EFLA. EFLA has a body. We have instruments in place, that will lead us towards that objective, achieving that objective. Thank you.
My last question to the chairman, before we go, is that okay? Can I give it to the chairman himself and also to the board of directors? do we see any future annual conference within Europe in terms of all Liberian conference within Europe?
As
Anyone can
as
take
I
it.
already as I already stated, we are envisioning all Liberian Diaspora conference taking place probably in the first half of 2025. Whether that will be held in Europe, whether it be held in the United States, it's in the making. I cannot state, but definitely going forward, there will be also a conference held in Europe at the end of the day as well, because uh, one should not misunderstand. At the end of the day, whether we have a majority of Liberians living in the United States, which we are working very closely to, uh, a smaller size organization can also be a kingmaker within the political arena, as we all know. So we should not underestimate the power of Liberian living in the diaspora. I'm strongly convinced of what we have all executed in the past, that having people with networking capability, as you have proven already, is a useful tool, et cetera, et cetera. So we have to leverage going forward from here with all our qualities and professionalism that we have in Europe to be able to move this mountain. I remain on a very, very positive stand that so far what we are hearing out of Liberia, that is not only a sweet mouth talk, and we are positive that so far the campaign is moving in the right direction. And I can just address, the president, together with me, the president of EFLA, we sent a letter to the president office, and within less than 2 weeks, we had a response already. And I was very surprised in having such a quick response. You understand? And coming to the physical engagement, our brother and president of Belgium, he went to Liberia for roughly 2 weeks, and within 2 weeks, he was able to meet with NEC, with the Speaker of the House, and with other stakeholders on the ground. So, so far, that positive wave that concerning this out-of-country voting, we will continue leveraging on it. And last but not least, and already mentioned, it's also putting the president of the Republic of Liberia on the spot. He promised making the diaspora inclusive. And the diaspora today is saying that being inclusive, we want to be able to vote. So that's our demand as citizens, and this is our right. And you have promised in your campaign you want to make us inclusive. So the president is also challenged by the diaspora. And the way we are talking here in Europe is the same way our brothers and sisters are talking in the United States. Unfortunately, I don't know our individual soldier in Peru or in Thailand what they are saying, but we'll be able to reach out to them as well to understand.
I will
But
take care of Asia.
I believe they will follow in line.
I will take care of Asia because I come from there. But guys, I want to say, or all of us here want to say thank you very much, Mr. Mark Muller. You are chairman of the board of directors of EFLA, and you will not have performed your duties any better than what you've done here tonight, and especially so taking on this gigantic task. And like you said in your opening statement, I still remember that when the idea of the diaspora, this diaspora citizenship first started, the dual citizenship first started, people doubted it. I remember when I first saw that document, and I was sitting on my friend, I was visiting my friend, and was sitting on his bed, and I think we were cutting some shot, and I said, "Oh, my man, pull that thing down, man." He said, "My man, but it's interesting." We started going through it. I said, "Oh, my man, but wait." Then luckily for me, I saw Emmanuel Wetty's name, and Wetty and I being brothers from childhood time. Then I said, no, wait, this thing must be serious. And that's how, in fact, I got to know that what you were saying alive since the war, because we didn't meet from 1988. We didn't meet. So, and we all signed our paper and it came to fruition today. So I know this one is not going to be an easy task, but we in the diaspora, I think we all need to galvanize our efforts, and this is how we're starting it. So the platform is always open to you whenever you have any new development that you want to share with us. You can come, and when we think that there is something that we see and we want to get clarifications on, we'll also get to you. The good thing is we are in Europe here, we got the same time, so we're gonna say, oh, my sleeping, we can take a phone and call you anytime, or you take a phone and call me, call Jima, call Francis anytime, call Paul, and then we can do something. So we want to say thank you very much for appearing. Is there anything that you wanted to say that probably all of us, all four gentlemen, forgot to ask you that you want us to know, or you want the public to know?
No, I mean, I would like to really once again thank you, gentlemen, for the work that you are executing. I believe you have understood where we are trying to go. And I'm very hopeful that we all living in different countries in Europe. You are individually engaged in your domestic country, in your domestic community, and obviously share the message. Let the people get on board. Let the people get engaged. As we said, is the campaign have just started. We're in the due process. President Mensah mentioned a lot of things is happening in the background, and obviously coming together collectively will happen in the nearest future, as we're talking about 2025. And but from now on, we will appreciate. I mean, as I said, this is not about Peter, Paul, or John Brown. This is about we as a collective being able to change the narrative of our country going forward. So anybody as a Liberian living in the diaspora should be interested in participating and making this campaign and a success at the end of the day. Are there going to be hurdles? Definitely. Are we willing to take up that challenge? Definitely. We have succeeded in dual citizenship. We have succeeded also, which we didn't mention today, concerning the establishment of the War and Economic Crime Court. There was also EFLA taking that leadership in the All Liberian Diaspora Conference in 2019 in Maryland. So the president have signed that executive order 131 into motion. So that is ongoing. So gentlemen, from my personal side, there's no additional question. Let's remain positive. We shouldn't look at only the problem. Get connected with people, share the message. Let's get this thing done on behalf of Mama Liberia.
Thank you very much. Guys, I think you agree with me. Time is fast spent. We got to let our guests go, and then we can do our post analysis. So, Mr. Muller, once again, on behalf of the Bottomland team, I want to say thanks, and you are always welcome.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. Have a wonderful evening and a beautiful and blessed continuation of the week. And definitely we'll be engaging each other going forward. Thank you so much. Well appreciated. And good night to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, guys. You heard it. We got it next 8 minutes or so. You heard Mr. Muller. I think the much anticipated discussion has been held. Last week was supposed to be here, and unfortunately he was not here, and everybody was like, okay, no, we hope he will come, and we're not sure even to the last minute. But he made it tonight, and you heard what he said. You asked your questions, though I know we didn't ask all of what we wanted to do or ask because of time constraints, but you heard what he said. Francis, do you think the chairman delivered?
I think Francis should be the last person to close this thing because
there's a reason why I put Francis on the spot.
No, don't put him on the spot.
Okay, but then
I can be the last and the first.
Let me be the last because he was like kind of captive because he has no idea.
I can do both. I can do both.
Okay, but popular demand, Francis will be the last. So, Jima,
Yeah,
who
please be the last, because the
who wants to go
problem
first?
is you have the whole campaign on your hands, and then we will actually, I want to go back to the questions I put to the chairman before. The first question was, every country want their diaspora to vote, but it comes with challenges. I remember like 4 or 5 years ago when I was in the Netherlands, the only African country that were allowing their citizens to vote outside was South Africa, because they had the financial capabilities, the financial resources, and they got the capability to do it. As far as Nigeria could not even do it, other countries could not do it. It has to do, it has too many complications, logistic complications. It has to do with security concerns, technical limitations. Everything's involved. Or considering our country as Liberia, that's why I'm not doubtful. I'm not doubting this, but I'm just worried. Like, can if they agree, they don't even have the funds? Who they look up to? I said I would expect Mr. Chairman to tell us if they're not willing to doing the fund. Okay, the money we are sending, are we in the process, or are in a way to help them to raise the fund that we can be part of the process? Because the government could come on an excuse, we don't have the money, we don't have the way to do it, we don't have the technical know-how. Like you saw, just a link for all, I think, Paul. So we got some technicians around here within the diaspora that are good. I mean, technically good. They can put the ideas together, the apps, whatever it is, the technical know-how together. But then it has to go with resources, financial resources, and not only that, there has to human resources involved. So I was just wondering, this is something like they could come with a strong excuse and it can put it on the hold. That's my worry. That's my fear, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President. Sorry.
Okay. Paul, you asked your questions. Did the chairman address your questions, or
No, just Mr. President, to highlight more on this, because
yeah,
it was
but
fine.
you will speak. You are not interviewing. You will speak. You have a stand to
Oh,
speak.
okay. No, to highlight
And you
more on
address.
this. Yeah, okay.
I think we have to our closing. So I mean, we can do everything
You
together.
can just take your note, then you can close it
I'll
up.
be out of here soon.
Yeah. You do your closing. So Paul, quickly, myself, I need to go. But Paul, did the chairman deliver?
I think to an extent he delivered. There's few questions I asked, and he did brush it aside because there were a particular name I called. Musa Birete have championed this cause also in the house, and I asked whether they have leads with Musa Birete, because there's a bill already on the floor that could have pushed it more. Because
Let me answer that question quickly.
okay,
In Monrovia, he met with Musa Birete, discussed on behalf of the diaspora, discussed on behalf of EFLA. So I mean, we have picture to that effect. There were several bills that Musa Birete, put forward to to the to be discussed at the legislature. So yeah, so we, on behalf of EFLA, President Kingston Webb from Belgium met with Musa Birete. So I mean, just to answer your question.
right. Okay, because it's quite important though. And Gemma, I see your concern and the issue you raised. Well, we can also take you from our neighboring countries that have started doing absentee ballot. So what have they done that we cannot do? Yeah.
Paul, honestly speaking, let me tell you what's happening. Most of those ballots don't reach their country. They just vote, it's just out of it's cosmetic. They will tell you they get there, the embassy don't have the finance to get to deliver this on time. They have to also do with various countries' areas. Like America, the voting area is different. I mean, the vote casting of vote has to different. It's a serious challenge for a country like Liberia. That's one point. America even having challenge to get the vote delivered. Even the military outside America, they are voting. How do you get the ballot box to America to be counted? When we talk about biometric, we couldn't even do it in our own country. I'm not saying it's not possible. It could take. I like the campaign, but we need to know where we are going, so we know from step by step. Put a provision in place. Make sure the provision in place that they allow us to have our voting rights. Then we take the next step. You know what I mean?
Yes.
That's my point.
So I see your point. So that means if when I'm talking about taking cue from other African countries, our neighboring country, to see the the ups and downs that they have gone through, and we can take the positive side of it and see how this can be implemented in Liberia. So
Yeah,
that's the point I'm drafting at. Maybe in a bill that the diaspora could put forward, it could all be in there. So you weigh the pros and the cons in this for them to know that, yeah, when it comes to the technicality, Liberians in the diaspora can handle this. When it comes to biometric, Liberia, we can even fund it to save them time. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, look, we have several catalog approaches to this campaign. When and how it's going to be effectuated. This was thought thoroughly, not just of the blue sky. Say we got the more in the morning. Say, oh, okay. I mean, let us go vote. No, uh, we have people who has analyzed the risks, who have done risk analysis, and it's a work in progress. It's not cast in stone. So all these things were factored in. All the obstacles were factored in. So they were considered, and we have adapted the minimum approach. Like we know we do not have the sophistication, but look, like where we do our elections in Liberia, with everybody, with all the I call it pool or I call it people from political parties represented there, they will be the same thing here, and I want to really actually say, but the what we see, the total value for the total tally votes, it will be transmitted to Liberia. So these are things that we're working on. We have security experts, we have IT experts. I don't want to call their names, but these guys they are versed in their field. So yeah. So this was not just out of the blue. I've been thoroughly taught to.
Okay, Mr. Mensah, could you just do your closing? Then after you are close up, and then we can leave.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this was a very interesting program. This one, shows that we had that was, very exhaustive. We didn't really feel the time going. So the chairman of the board, Mr. Muller, did extremely well in propounding the roadmap of the idea of out of country of voting, and in my mind that he answered he answered the questions. Although some of us may not have been satisfied with what he said, but in general he did his best to answer the questions, and I hope that we'll have him back soon to discuss the economic issues of that bureau. So he's a corporate investment banker for more than 25 years. He worked with one of the biggest banks, HSBC. So yeah. Yeah, so so I just want to thank you all. Thank our viewers, and I recognize Mr. Nicholas Doe, who was here, Madam Lucretia Nelson, Gus Hardy, and Mr. Kamara from the States. Yeah, all the people, Mr. Anthony Cordy, the president of the ULOC. So yeah, I just want to thank everybody. Oliver Cheer, so yeah. So thank you all, and I wish you guys, we see you guys on Friday by the grace of God.
Okay, thank you, Francis. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Jima. I think, frankly speaking, the chairman did what he was called to do to address the issue. It's not all about answering the question, but it was about explaining to the Liberian people, especially those in the diaspora, the reason why they or EFLA as an organization is initiating all this effort. And A few things he said that caught my ear was that this is a process. This is not going to be an event that I just start and end. You know, when you go to a movie, that event, the show start by saying when the show finish, you're going nothing more. Until maybe you come back tomorrow, maybe you might not even watch a same particular movie. So, you know, but this is a process. And I'm concerned about Jima's concern as well. But, you know, I will tell you, things are happening every day. When we go to sleep, we wake up, there's something new happening. Israel is either attacking Palestine or Lebanon. Things are happening. Or Lebanon replying with bombs too. So every day, nothing is static, nothing is stable. Things are happening. Tomorrow you wake up and hear the war in Ukraine is over. So, you know, similarly so, like Paul said, our neighboring countries are doing it. Other countries are doing it. But I think the first thing, and that's the process that EFLA is establishing, the first thing is to say, yeah, express the willingness. Say, we in the diaspora want to participate in the electoral process by casting votes, right? In that first process, then the government say, okay, we agree. Next day we agree. Bam, you sign a paper. You know, in Pele, they get a parable. When somebody woman confess on you, you go judge a case, they ask you agree that you know you had a affair with a woman, you agree. Then they say, okay, the case finished. The only thing now, the woman husband say will pay damages. So the parent say, may I pay meaning the case finished, just remain the money business now. So by the time the government say, okay, we agree, you can vote, then a leave on now to say, okay, gentlemen, how we do the voting? Because now every one of us will go to Liberia to vote. So what we do? Let's put into place. And one of the concerns that I even raised is how will voting be done? But I also caught myself in the middle and said, well, listen, we are in a technological age. Say, we in the diaspora will set up a system where we can recognize every possible voter, eligible voters. Then we'll have the data system. We can cast our vote. Paul running, Jima running, Francis running, I'm running. We are 4 presidential candidates. So you put here running for Drew. So let's say all the presidential candidates in Liberia running. Then we in the diaspora are voting for them. Time for election day, you vote. There's a place you vote. Your candidate, your this and your everything. We'll do it electronically. Then the accumulated results for all of the candidates. Candidate 1 get so amount. Everything will be clearly seen, shown, and then we can take it to the embassy or to the system in Liberia, to the election commission. It's just that you don't got to go to Liberia. We got to send it by. We got to send no ballot paper. That's just electronic thing. The world has become easy to live in. It's possible. Chima, you went to university. I went to university in the UK. The poster get my document. Once you get that system, the document is there.
I can't. You just saying it's so simplifying it. I mean, Francis.
No, but this is how simple the world has become.
I'm sorry.
All right, guys. I have to leave. I will see you guys on Friday.
All right,
okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, go on. Thank you very much. You just simplifying it. I think Francis just told you that too many catalogs there they're trying to put together. You simplifying it. It's not that easy as you think. It's not that easy, man.
But it's not as difficult as you also think.
I want to ask you a question right now. Why is it that Nigeria could now vote? Diaspora Nigeria did not vote the past election?
Because they did not have a system in place.
Oh, why did you think so? Why do you think
because they did not have it in place?
That's how it's not that easy as you think. It's not that easy.
But how do the Americans vote? No, let me tell you. You know how the Americans vote? I got a student, my former student right here in Italy. He and myself talking politics all day. Okay. And he talking about you will be voting the American man, you will vote. So I asked him, well, how you guys will vote? You go back home? He said, no, I'll vote right here. The people, we got the system, we vote. All the people that vote for Kamala Harris, their name will be there, or everything will be there. They'll go on that candidate vote.
I agree with you to say the system, but the system go with resources we don't have. That's the
no, listen, Jima, I can't say, no, listen, it had to take care of children, so I will not get married and born. Let me get money for it before I get married. The time going.
No, I just told you just now we can put the process in place. This is how it works. First and foremost, I just said to you, Paul just made a very smart suggestion. How many countries in Africa from our region have successfully allowed the diaspora to vote, and they all receive those who cast the vote were counted? You call me one. Do you know any?
You see?
No, I'm just saying something. I'm just saying that it's not possible now. I'm not saying it's not possible. Listen to me. I'm just saying, call me one country within West Africa that allowed their citizens to vote outside and their votes were. We saw Guinea doing it, but they were just voted, they cast their votes in the very embassy. It did not reach the country because they couldn't put the funds together. Look at Guinea economy compared to what we have. Their budget is even more than what we have.
Let me understand something.
It has to have the political, listen, the political will.
Those are things. Listen now,
come in.
Yeah, coming.
Go
on. You mentioned a keyword. Keep talking about funds. So if we vote electronically, as a diaspora Liberians, we vote electronically. The number is there in the computer. Do we need funds to transfer that number? Do we need to pay?
Yes. I'll tell you, before you get the team set up, you need the fund to put. I'm not saying, listen, you're not getting me right. What I'm trying to say to you here,
you're starting a Guinea incident by saying because they did not have the funds.
I'll come in. I want to explain something to you. Probably I've got to somewhere you didn't get me from. Let me start from what I was talking about. I told the chairman, the board director, look, it's good to have the brilliant idea, but we need to start, the process has to begin from somewhere. This is how we got a provision in place first, allow it to vote. Then one next, right? Then look what happened. We should have, what did we do with the biometric thing in Liberia? When they carried the census, at a certain point, join your government and then you continue with that biometric voting. That's one. That's the first thing you know that whether can we get a system in place. That's number one. Second, when they did that, did not allow, they went back to the old system, we'll be counting ballot paper. You know what happened to the prior elections. Manipulation, fraud, and a lot of interferences. That's second. Now, the government is telling you that with the first and foremost, that even the budget recast, all the stuff, all straight coming up. And the brother just talk about the massive corruption in our country. Those are things we're not dealing with here. I know the idea is every country want the diaspora to vote. It's not a fight. They should allow it to vote.
Why would they are
thinking.
Why would you suggest?
Now, I'll give you a chance to say.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, the first and foremost is like this.
You
the first
outline
thing
all the problems and the difficulties. We agree. The problems, no bottlenecks are there. The question is, what can we do to better our situation? You know,
first of all, yeah, let me tell you now, you asked me, first of all, let's do what Benin did in 2006. Republic of Benin. They set up, they call it the engagement diaspora policy. We talk about diaspora office, and no government in Liberia has started that. That's the first thing. Then you can highlight what these are the things we're talking about. Then we talk about system in place. That's how you start with. Now, second, after that, it was followed by Senegal in 2009. Those are the way you got to engage. But every government comes to office, they got a little office sitting down in the president's office, say that diaspora office. And they just call a name, want their vote. When they want their vote, when they want elections, they run up here asking you to vote for them. When they want elections, this is thing you do. The first and foremost, we need to do a step we need to first take. Then it goes to then you need to recognize our importance. Then talk about all diaspora bond, diaspora finance, diaspora investment. But they only need you when it's election time. When they need you, we don't want you to put the money into the pocket to vote for them.
I agree.
So we've got a long way to go.
I ask you a very simple question. What can we do? You certainly
I just said,
so you want to agree with Paul? Are you agreeing with Paul that we can learn from our neighboring countries?
Paul gave me one country in Africa that I voted.
Benin, you just need Benin.
No, I said they started the diaspora engagement policy. That's what I told you.
So I said, don't understand your point. Are you saying that this thing doesn't work?
I don't know.
So you know, the whole thing, this thing is possible, right?
Of course it is.
Yeah, but with the corrupt money people in Liberia that hate the fact that people in the diaspora, when it comes to Liberian politics, there's something they get angry with. But when it comes to taking money from people in the diaspora, they're okay with it. So that's what I asked that question, because now we are citizens. Okay, we petition the country because they say if you get 10,000 signatures, you force the legislature to have something there. So if they're looking at all of these things, because if they're talking about 2029, they will sweet talk you when time kind of say, oh, we don't have money. Yeah. But they have to be forced. You see, the diaspora have to force them to do it. Being Liberia is a small country, and you remember,
I'm making a thing. I want us to make it simple, Paul and Jima.
Yeah.
The bigger question we all should look at is it possible? Yes or no? If it is possible, yes, where do we start from? We are starting from where we're starting now. Okay, then we get an approval. When we get an approval, then now we have reached that point where we're supposed to put into place mechanism. We have not even reached that area where you're concerned about. We reached that yet. Let's get it first. That's what the chairman said. When we reach that bridge, we'll cross it. But you move from Douala, you move from Oro to go to New Bruton. You won't reach Gabriel Choko Bridge. You start thinking how I'll cross the bridge.
Yeah,
Come
but
to plan
you have to
There's a
be fast
reason
starting, yeah.
behind it. There
You have
is
to
a
be fast
reason
starting.
behind this.
Of course.
You know, because I remember 12, it was more than 18 years now, I would say, when earlier in office, we knew what happened. Oh, we're going to do this thing. And you know, money, they came to us for money, and that's why I raised that issue. There's a reason behind it. They will sweet talk you. I give classic example. When George, we are champion. The dual citizenship thing, that's why we got it. It was because of him. Darius Delo and other came into this place here. When it went back, they said, oh, because we are saying we'll do ball, we'll put condition on all these guys.
Exactly, Paul. And yeah, this is what Paul's saying. The late, there were some senators in the House. When they asked them to something, they were asking for money. They ask us to pay money before they can pass it, put it on the floor, on the House floor. Those are things. The political will, guys. Look, nothing is not possible except bringing forward back to life.
I'm a witness to everything you guys are saying. Me,
Yeah.
I still getting one.
But why you want to simplify this thing?
No, it is supposed to be that simple.
No,
with all the complications you bring here, I understand, but it is supposed. Look at it logically. That I'm dealing with logic here. I'm not dealing with what will happen. I'm dealing with logic. Is it possible? Yes. Can it happen? Yes or no. Simple logic. It can happen, but we know. No, okay. When the child is born, we all agree the child is born. Will the child live? Yeah, because he's born, he's breathing, you live. But in the process of living, the child can get sick. All the things will come. We agree. The child can get sick. The child can refuse to eat. All kind of things will happen. But is the child alive? The child is born. Is the child alive? Yes. Okay, that's what I'm looking at. Can this thing happen? Yes, it can happen.
Yes, it can happen.
Simple. Okay.
Yeah.
So then we know that all kind of things will happen. But can those problems that can happen, can we solve them? That's another question. When we reach there, we'll cross the bridge.
Possible. Let me just. I know we just had a discussion here. You know, first it has to do with us,
and it's very important. What we're seeing is very important.
Yeah, it's good. I know. It has to also do with us in the diaspora as well. The level of unity, understanding among ourselves, the Liberian diaspora, that's lacking. We don't have the will to come together as Liberian diaspora. We all got separate groups, despite our political connections. But if you come to issue now, somebody's saying,
no, Paul, how this even?
Hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Okay, by way of information, the Dennis Way is from our town, and we are like brothers.
You're connected to everybody at Big Human. Let me say my something.
No.
Everybody that can you connect to everybody at Big Human.
I'm telling you, this is somebody from a town.
Yeah, but don't tell her who is the person who want to know you too.
Okay, but I'm telling you, they say I connect. You know who I know? Hey, you don't know who I know. And now you are in Ban. You are in Ban in that small village. You know people. So Dennis is like a brother to me. So he knows what we're saying. Now he is saying that it is good that we vote, but equally so, we must consider the challenges, dishonesty, favoring ruling party, etc. But we hope that it happens. Now, listen. So we're coming here. Somebody from Liberia on the ground. He works at Ganta Methodist Hospital, so he's on the ground. The man is saying that it's good that we can vote, but then the same concerns that you have. So people are agreeing that this thing can happen, but they are also raising the same concerns that you have, and that's why I ask you the simple question we should be asking ourselves there is it possible?
Question, but you're not willing to listen to me.
Yeah, but listen.
Go on.
Me, I ask you both, and you all two agree. Is it possible? Yes, it's possible.
We are not in elementary school, man. How many times you ask the same question? Go on with your question again. That's not. I don't want to answer that.
Yeah. Even in kindergarten school, I agree. Is it possible?
How many times you ask this question? I've answered you already.
Yeah, but that's the meat of the story. Is it possible? Yes, and that's why we brought Muller here. He said diaspora Liberia should vote. So we are asking, is it possible? Yes, but then you got bringing technical things. So if it is possible, we can also work around the technicalities. You talk about, I don't know how you look at it voting here. Then you talk about funds. So if we get a system in Europe, in America, all over the world, where we got a database where people voting. You can clearly see it's interactive. You can see Paul Chirople with number voter card number voting in favor of John Brown. We know Paul is one Paul Chirople because everybody assign a particular number. So that result, we don't need funds, we don't need money to take that result that on a computer or on the internet and take it and put in the plane or take it and put it on the internet. And I know who will pay that who will be paid to carry. No.
So,
all we need is a system. The system is simple, yes. Yeah.
You see, everything like we went into engineering, you design, you test, you do the testing, you implement, you compare everything. So the question Jamal is bringing is good for the discussion for those that catalog everything. So
I agree.
Yeah. Jamal did mention something here. You know, we have a lot of non-born Liberians that carry Liberian passport that could have influence in the diaspora voting. So all of these things have to be taken into consideration. What that group of people, what become of them? In Liberia, I was born. I don't know if I have date of birth. After the war, everything. So will they consider me as a Liberian if I don't have a Liberian passport? You see, so all of these things have to be taken into consideration. And the legislature, they get some clever people that could bring it out to deny us from having that voting right. So all of this discussion have to be taken into consideration.
Okay, that's why we need to bring Muller back here on. But again, you raising some point. I remember when I was in England, when I was in Southampton studying, I had the Indian boys and Chinese boys. They always used to have the two for me. They say, "Oh, you from Liberia?" I say, "Yeah." "Oh, you say about get Chinese Liberian, Filipino Liberians, and Indian?" I say, "How?" They say they have your passport and they're working on ships.
Exactly.
They just honor your country. So I say, I started getting mad, but again, nothing I can do about it. That's a reality. But again, Paul, that's a cool concern. That's why I am saying that this is that impossible. It can happen. But when we have that approval, then we can begin to work on the technical aspect of it. But as it is now, we can say, okay, let's start working on the technical aspect, or because of the technical aspect, let's be afraid and not to do it.
No, Linford, listen. When you work in the kind of society, if you work in the area of management or base, whatever, you look at the far ahead. What is going to be in the next 5-10 years? That's what you look into. You don't look at what is going to happen right now. This is why they build Europe. Europe is like you and myself running to you. Other people running to Europe to benefit from the resources they made. You thought of in the next 10 years what's going to happen. You got me. The problem is not is the giving on the right. I think Mark Muller said we have the birthright to vote. Of course it is. But then how do we put a system? Will they have the political will to support us to do it? That's one. Second, the first political will should come. I was just talking about Benin in 2006. The government of Benin, when it came up with the diaspora engagement policy, make it a special document where all these things you're talking about came into place. Then followed by Senegal in 2009. What do they give them? More right to diaspora to move back into the country, invest, and also take part in the political process. Those things are not happening in Liberia. Then we jump to the place of voting right. Then you have to, that's my point I'm looking at. And then the government is telling you, yeah, you said we got our budget used to be 800 million. Now we brought it down to 600 million. We don't even have the funds. Now let's go back to the quote. This Trump, you're trying to quote.
Can I ask you one question, sir?
I come in. Okay, go on. Yeah.
Okay. Forget about diaspora voters. Or
okay. I think that's the key potential
discussion. Wait. I said I'll ask you a question. You don't tell me.
Go on.
Okay. So forget about diaspora. What about that? Let's consider Liberia as it is now, where all the political parties are based in Liberia. I'm not even sure whether the diaspora will put a candidate, but forget about their voting right. Now, as it is in Liberia, all voters, people who say they want to vote in Liberia, how does government sponsor them? Because your concern is about government will not give you money, government will say, do have money. So how does government sponsor all the voters that come from Bumkonima, from Matan, from Ban, from Paul Village?
It's totally different. What I will tell you, I'll say something to the chairman before I answer your question. I'll talk about some lack of information, informed decision. Although political candidates, it's a right of the election commission to put the commission names out there for people to follow it. in all countries here around the world. That should be the right. They have sent election commission, has sent all those details to various counties, various districts in Liberia to get from. It's up to them to do that. They can have that logistics. Other international committee came in to support them to do that. It goes to election commission budget. That's what they do. That's one. So can they do the same thing for you and myself? Because we need to know who is running on each ticket in my county and all. That's one thing. Those are funny things we're talking about. Who is bringing that money? Now, if it, are coming now.
No.
Are coming. Okay.
Because
okay.
I don't think if you say that now, and I agree with you. I mean, we can
Go
have a
on.
discussion.
Yeah, but you don't have to. You don't have to agree with me. You don't have to.
Oh, look at logically what we're talking here. Whether the information, you and I have more information, more access to information, even more than the interior part you're talking about. But my question here is, because you keep talking about funding the government and say, oh, we don't have the voter, the ordinary voters, all they need to do, voter registration, election commission had the money to do it. Voter registration go on. They're not coming to register people in the diaspora.
No.
You can stay online, where your name, John Brown, you ready? No. Our system is set that we will be like a constituency on our own. We vote, we get everything. We vote, we have normal article. All we need the election commission to do to send us the voters registration if there's anything like that, where we can fill up online and put in our information. When we finish voting, they send the information, the result to them. They will go and look at the information they send. It is sent from number 1 to number 1 million for diaspora Liberia. Number 1, John Brown, number 1, he voted for Paul Peter. Okay, so the thing, look, it's a system. The thing that happen. When you keep talking about funding, the ordinary voters in the villages, government do spend money on them. It is the candidate that spend money on those people.
No, so, you're getting me wrong.
You know,
I'm not saying
this is very complicated stuff that we're looking at. You know, the reason why I asked Mark that question about if the diaspora could put or to have a representative of senator, because what happened? I come from River G County, and I never been. I don't know the people in River G. Are we only concerned about the presidential or senatorial? Because you have all of those 73 districts. So if everybody have representation here,
everybody will be on the ballot. The ballot paper that you receive on the internet for diaspora voter, everybody will be there.
Now, Paul is telling you if all the representative, all the candidates must have the rep at the embassy to represent them for the voting. That's what Paul is saying.
The complication, that's what I'm asking. Is just going to be going to vote for just a presidential candidate?
We'll get that across. Because
you see the problem is, no, you see the problem is the guy is thinking so archaic. They want to talk about, we want to discuss these things. You should talk about what's going to happen in 10, 20 years. What will happen? What is how you say? What they say, okay, let's decide now.
You cannot be afraid. You cannot be afraid.
But you need to take those precautions.
In the first place.
Oh man.
Let's take life as a typical example in this case here. Life is difficult to live. The moment you are born, you are exposed to.
No, you're not looking at it from the logical point.
No,
you're not looking at
you. It's like you're afraid to sleep because you don't want to dream.
Why do you keep saying this? I don't have any fear. Why are you saying this? Paul is saying
every time we talk, you say, "Oh, you know this, you bring us something else."
Yeah, but listen now.
You are not even getting it right. You are not even getting the right to vote. Wait, listen. You are not even getting the right to vote. Then you're scared of what will happen. See it?
Linford. Give me let me break it down for you. Let me break it down
for you. Linford, the process started. The process started.
Do you have the right to vote now?
Linford,
no,
listen to me.
The process is a conversation that leads to that right to vote. The process started because they have not.
That's why, if you listen to Francis, what Francis said, he said they didn't just wake up one day, one morning and say, okay, where we'll go for. They have they studied all of these things. And I'm very happy that we are discussing these things because that will even help them to get more ideas. But the question, my point is very simple. Not because there are all these complications and little, law germs in a way will make us afraid to push on for that right. Once we get it right, then we'll know. We're going to vote and say, oh, my man, you are not supposed to vote because you're not. Then we'll know that problem number one will mark it. And next time we work on it. It's a process.
Let me tell you one thing. Yeah, it's a process. But you keep saying that I want you to think like a businessman. If you start a business, you want to be in the next 10 years, what are you going to be? Let's say, I'm going to start business now. I don't make profit and pay my bills. I want you to think like, no, come in. We lay these complications. I keep saying to you, it's possible. We are not, that's out of the question. Paul and myself saying that. Paul just picking some point to cue from my point I'm raising right now. Where you say, like, what are you looking at now? What are the difficulty you're going to be facing? This is what you're going to be looking at right now. The possibility is there. I'm just saying, can we look at the difficulties? What are the challenges you're going to be facing? Let's start looking at how can we address those ones. You got me, Paul? Those are the things you can you look at. I'm not saying it's not possible. If you look at those things, then you can be able to deal with tomorrow. When people build this country, the whole the great Marshall Plan that came about, they saw that after so many years to raise money, give us some plan, build in the area. The next 10, 20 years, people become from everywhere to come to this part of the world. Now, what you saying to me? Come in now.
Okay, I'll convince you.
No, you don't. I convince me.
I'll convince you. I will agree with you.
As a businessman, listen,
I will agree with you.
Listen now. Let me give me a break.
You need to go.
No, you need to go, but you don't understand. You simplify things. So what you do, you look at the article, calculate your risk. That's what I'm trying to say here. What I'm talking about, the challenges we'll be looking at, the barriers we're dealing with. We need to be looking at that now, how we deal with it tomorrow. That's what I keep saying over and over. Then you know that, okay, this is doable, easily doable. Then we need this come. That's what basically will do. I'll prepare for tomorrow for rainy days. In case there's a rainy day.
Can I ask one question? Are you sure that all the problems will come?
Of course they will.
How do you know?
I'm just telling you, because other African countries are not doing it. The challenges they're facing, most of them are not doing it.
And who told you that all African countries want to even go that route?
Nigeria should be one of the countries with the finances. Listen now, Nigeria is one of the countries in West Africa with the finances.
Let me address your concern.
They have the money. They got to know how.
Let me address your concern, and this will be my last time discussing this one.
You discuss the concern. You don't even know what you're talking about. No, answer the question. Why Nigeria don't do it?
Yeah, I may not know what.
Corruption, right?
Yeah, I may not know. Because we are not reached that point.
You should do this study before you argue these things.
That's what I'm saying. Let me talk.
Go on.
You have laid down all the problems. All the problems. I agree. I can't deny it. There are always problems. But I will give you the parable again. Because of bad dream, you can't be afraid to sleep.
Oh, man. Come on.
Very good. And the second thing I'll tell you, I come from the maritime background. And I think I said this thing before, if you can remember. You know, there are a lot of IMO conventions. Okay, the Solas Convention and all the different conventions. You know how they came about? When the people were building the ship, they knew that ship can sink. They knew all these things. But there were problems that they didn't know. And you cannot solve a problem when you don't have it. So people built the Titanic, for example. The Titanic sank because it was just a single hull, single skin. They had a little thin iron that they built a whole ship on.
So you are saying that we should not have
listen to me. I agree with you. I agree with your problem.
There's no argument. If you agree with me, let's stop the discussion.
Okay, no, listen. I just want to give you. Listen, I want to give you.
I want to discuss. If you agree with me, I'm fine. I don't want to continue.
No. You gotta let me learn. So the people know that problem will happen, and it's after every accident in the shipping, in the maritime industry, that they can make convention. Because the thing is, they have the idea, but they don't know what will happen and how it happened. So if you just get it, support all the problems you are learning, tomorrow it happen. Then what you say? So, conventions or people who made laws, the only way they will make law that nobody must see. If you see, somebody got to see first. Then they catch a roll. They say, okay, you're not supposed to steal. Nobody's supposed to steal. So laws do not come. Laws do not come from the plan. Laws come from examples. If you go read law, go and open any law book. All the laws that are quoted, there are laws that came from past cases. That thing that happened that went into law. They don't just say that I read law. Law come from past cases.
They're fine. Thank you. They're what they call risk analysis in project.
So laws will always be
what they call risk analysis in what they call risk analysis in project.
Risk analysis. Risk analysis does not make you a friend how to do things. That's why you got a pyramid. That's why you build a pyramid. When you build a pyramid, first
let's get chance to say something.
Linford, before you go, don't run. Yeah, don't run before you go. When you are building the same shape that you talk about, they had a checklist. Mm-hmm. It doesn't mean that if you don't have that checklist, sometimes with the checklist, you miss the tiny little thing and cause something. So what we're doing here is just a checklist for this guy to catalog that putting this thing forward This is why we need to be spot on before they block us. That's
I agree to it. The checklist was there for Titanic. It passed through before they dock it, before they release it on sea. Now, they didn't know that you were going to strike.
Oh man, why can't I?
No, listen. You see, Jima.
So this guy is saying that we should not talk about it. We should not highlight the problem that may come. No, that's what you're saying.
You can't. No. Yeah. How can you solve a problem you have?
No. We need to highlight it first.
You can't go to the data and say treat me. You can't go to the data and say treat me because I think I'm safe.
You know, Linford, you know what happening here? You're dealing with complicated lawmakers in Liberia that don't want the diaspora to partake in anything.
It's one. That's correct.
If you're going to go after these guys, make sure that you close all the loopholes that would not give them the urge or the opportunity to say, because of this one year, we can't pass it. That's the catalog.
All the problem. So how can we solve it?
But this is where the guys in the catalog. And the first thing I'm talking about, I say, look, we get a lot of people that carry Liberian passport. They're not even Liberians. That would be one of the things, because remember, the passport office, they have been in court around the world. The America has sanctioned people for selling Liberian passport. What become of the people? You have to take that into consideration.
Yeah, so how can we solve it now?
Listen now, this is the solving part. And we say we get technicians all over the place. Each embassy have to recognize, they'll have a database of Liberians in every country or cities that, oh, these are the people who know as genuine Liberians. You take that one into consideration. All of these things into the checklist. And now when you submit your bill to the host, they will go through it. They will have no doubt that, okay, these guys have covered everything. Now we can pass this for them to be able to vote. That's what we're talking about.
I'll give you the last year. And what the Paul saying, they say, okay, they will tell you that we don't have the financial capability. Then we in that document we say we will help to raise.
We'll bring the money.
Yeah, you have to pay. We'll go around, lobby around for so for you pay half, we pay this. Those are things we are talking about here. Then we got all the, you have checked everything. We are not saying it's not possible. It's possible, but you need to look at the risk analysis, the chances of we getting through. We just told you about the dual citizenship, whereas it has to go. Listen, Paul, give me a chance. When you say, has to go to.
When you say that I was making it simple, I think you missed the mark. No, what I'm saying is that this thing is possible if we got a system in place. Simple.
Oh no, it's arguing the possibility. No arguing that.
Yeah, but then why what got me involved into the argument is that when you continue to bring these problems, I told you over and over that when we get there, we can solve those problems.
Why should you got to
No, you got to solve the problem before you get there. That's the fun now.
You got to highlight the problem. You got to highlight the problem.
How do you solve problems? You do know the problem. How do you solve it?
We try to highlight the problem.
You are a technician. You are a technician.
But listen,
yeah, you said it all domino. You said it all domino, right? You said it all domino. You know what will happen whether it will explode or not. You said it all domino.
You can't just give it different scenario. Doesn't even match what you're talking about. You just give it different scenario. Doesn't work.
No, my friend. I did risk analysis. And I know.
But you're not applying it right.
You can't address the risk until you know it.
But we're telling you the risk. We just told you.
You have to know the risk.
We just telling you right now.
You do know it yet.
But that's not the way you give it now. We're telling you.
That's your thing.
Paul telling you you're dealing with corrupt politicians. He's telling you the other things you need to know. He's telling people with tricks by Liberian passport, they're not Liberian, they carry all around. Those are issues you know to handle. Those are
simple issues. Who issues the passport?
Huh?
Who issues the passport? The Liberian government or the embassies?
Somebody can counterfeit it. Somebody can clue your passport and sell it out. It doesn't have the Liberian government. It can be clued and sent out. Look at this guy. What are you talking about? Your passport can be clued and be sold out to people. You don't have to be Liberian embassy. You don't even know what you're talking about.
You're equally so.
Yeah.
Equally so. Yeah. If there's a system in place to check the passport system.
We said this over and over. Don't care about back there. That's done. We're telling you we need to highlight the problem. Then we're able to deal with the problem. That's what Paul was saying.
I will give up.
Because you're not making sense.
Yeah, I agree. I'm not making sense. I will let the conversation rest. I'm not making sense.
No, you're not making sense out of the argument. Because we're telling you we do risk analysis here. Because you're telling us that we learn the staff first before get there. You don't have the plan.
You cannot solve a problem that you don't have. How do you solve a problem that you don't have?
Okay, we got passport issue. That's a plan. We got corrupt politicians. That's a problem. What do you think? It's not a
So
problem.
you always have the corrupt politicians there?
Oh, it's not a problem. Just say it's not a
You
problem.
always have them there?
Most of the time. For any
No,
time we have it.
why you say most of the time? Say yes, I always have them there. Then we'll know that
Yes,
the problem
we do,
exists.
because for the past time.
No.
Yes,
Just
we
tell me
do.
that, yeah, the corrupt politician will always be there. Then
Yeah, they'll always be there. How we deal with it as an issue. They're always going to be there. Yes.
Okay. So you know that you always issue, or people will always have your passport?
Yes.
So what is your plan to mitigate that?
Fine. That Paul said, what we need to do, how do we close that hole? You need to analyze it.
You stay asking.
No, I'm telling you. No. What Paul said, and we are saying here, we need to highlight the problems we deal with.
My brother, we know the problem. Tell me how to solve it.
Now you know the problem now. They're okay, fine. That's
yeah, so how do you solve it?
We just start telling you, deal with them.
Huh?
We deal with the problems. We solve the problem, deal with it.
Wait, what did you say? You will deal with it?
What are you carrying on back for? You say we should not even don't worry about the problem.
We want us to conclude this thing. You say we will deal with it, we will. We are not dealing with it, but you will.
No, man, I'm not in elementary school to take me back.
You agree with me?
I'm speaking logic here, man. Come on.
My friend. No, I take keywords. You say we will deal with it. I keep telling you that you cannot solve the problem that you have now. You must have that problem.
What we have corrupt politicians. That's the problem. What are you talking about?
So there was a solution right now before we can even go get the right to vote. What is your solution now?
Okay, solution number one. We are
I gave you an example.
Paul, let me start with you.
I got two of you on your heels running.
Paul, no. Paul, listen. We identify corrupt politicians that will call blockage for them. We're trying to put our document through. That's one.
You do what? You identify
corrupt politicians within the house.
How do you know that?
Darius Dillon is one.
What are you talking about? We know them because the last time we know them. I'm not calling names here. The last time we submitted the draw solution. Listen, Paul. The last time we submitted a draw solution paper. The last time we submitted a draw solution request. There are some politicians that were asking for money before it go through. We know them.
Absolutely, yeah.
So that's one. Second, we know who carry Liberian passport. They're not authentic Liberian. We know them. Who issued it? Somebody can.
You know a lot of them. A lot of them.
Yes, we know a lot of them.
How you know?
We tell you, so we know this. We know that. So they told us they got a clue from people that didn't even visit Liberia. They got it from somebody they went to. They got special machines.
What are their names? You can identify them.
Come on. You see what the guy behaving like? Don't be low.
No, but you say you know them.
I'm not joking here. Be serious. Be serious. I'm gonna call names to you. I said we know them. The time we identify them. We just told you right now.
I mean, in the UK here, I can tell you.
To argue, if you don't have
in the war,
the argument. You don't have a
during the war. There were a lot of Ghanaians, Nigerians that came and sought political asylum here. Say they were Liberians.
Well, apart from that, they clue our passport. They clue them. So what you want to tell me? I've seen Liberia before.
Yeah, but when you say you know them, that means
I know them.
How you know them?
Oh. Boy, look at you. Don't be childish, man. Come on. I'm telling you, I know that they telling me.
How do I know I'm asking because I don't know them.
Because he asking questions not relevant. I'm telling you,
how do you know them? You say you know them.
Because they carry Liberian passport, they're not Liberian. They told them they bought them. That's what I'm telling you. So how do I know them? That's what I'm telling you.
If I say I know Chima, I must know you.
I just told you how I
can identify you.
I can identify people that say they're Liberian, but they bought the Liberian passport. They are not Liberians.
Okay, so what made my question, Charlie? Now I ask you know them. Yes, simple.
Yeah, but that's a stupid question.
Anyway, that close this show because
because if you say no to know something, so
that's a childish question. Why can I silly question ask me if I told them I still carry Liberian passport for them?
I know that there are people who carry Liberian passport, but I do know them. Definitely, I know that people carry Liberian passport, and I do know them. But if you say you know them, then I can ask whether you know them. Okay, because how do you know them? Okay, but I think the discussions are healthy for the fact that it will give the people who are spearheading this thing.
Because this is a very personal. It's about Liberia. It's about how you and myself can have a voting right in Liberia. And the thing, whether you like it or not, we need to identify the problem that will go hurdles. That's what Paul must is saying here. We're not saying that once we know them, can help to solve them. But you're saying that we should start the process before we know the problems, which we are arguing with. That's the point we are arriving at. I'm saying that when we identify the problems, we'll try to solve them. But you're saying let's start before we identify the problems.
I did not say that. I did not
It
tell you
might be.
that.
So it's like when you say,
Lie
oh,
there to me.
so you can submit your bill to the house. Then some clever guy just sit and say, these guys think they come and take our job. Boom, boom, boom. Then now say, oh, that word you have to solve everything before presenting to them. These are the obstacles we may face.
Paul said one thing here. Paul said one thing.
I don't want to go back to this
Listen,
thing.
in
The
the
thing
public
here
place, we
is
must give
you
credit
will
to
not
George
you
here.
will not know the problem
that do-
until you have it, then you can solve it. You
No.
cannot treat a sickness that you don't have.
We know so the
We
signal.
know human being can have cancer, we know human being can have headache, we know human being can have so, but they're so in Kanye, you start treating it.
So then the question is, if this person get headache, what do we do? Oh, we found paracetamol.
You start to treat it.
Yeah.
When the person get headache, then you start treating it.
Yeah, man. So all right, I'm going to jungle. There's no hospital, there's nothing.
Yeah.
Because I'm going in jungle, I'm gonna be there for months. Just in case they boy me, what do I do? You start thinking about what are the precautions that you're going to take. So I get, how to call it, anti something for snake, right? In case I get headache, nobody around, I get paracetamol. So I preparing all the little things that are around me. Now when I go there, when the issue come, I prepare. So you cannot go submit something to the
in this case, what you are doing now, you say no, I'm not going in the forest because snake can boil, mosquito can boil.
No, I'm going, but I'm taking precaution what I'm carrying.
No, what you're saying is, let me take all the mosquito medicine, the snake medicine, everything before I go in the fight in the push. That's why you guys saying here. I am saying all those problems may come, but you don't know which one will come first, or you don't even know what will come. You first.
That's what you prepare for. That's why you prepare for. You are bringing about the alternative. Let me tell you something. We work on a Y2K project, right? That the whole world was going to collapse. We have not reached there, but we listed. Eddie, now listen.
So you wasted all that time.
Not wasting time. In case, so we were on point of everything. We listed everything, all the scenario in the world, all the clock will stop. When the clock stop, what become? You have to prepare for it. So in this case, that we did it with corrupt people, you have to take everything on the checklist before you present it to them. That you not give them any room to say, "Oh, we deny these people." That's the point we're making here.
And my point here
is, we catalog. So maybe in a catalog they might have made something, but from the discussion here, they could pick up something.
My point here is, you guys are correct about the concerns, but my point here is, let's take it step by step. First, we get the approval that we can vote. Then now, with all the checklists, I agree. Often all the checklists, we agree. But let's take it point by point. When we get the approval to vote, now we are ready to vote. Then we wait. We get a checklist, so we get.
But how will you get approval? Any guys they decide to mess you or you're not?
You want to take this thing back. I am saying we agree. Okay, you guys are the engineer. I mean, are the precautionists. You take all the precautions, put all the measures in. Then we go. We register. When we register and they agree, we are there now. Then we're waiting for any attack that will come. Okay, because you finish putting all mechanisms in place, right? With all your precautions. Then we're waiting. When they say no, you can't vote because we get money, we say no, we get money here. Then they say, okay, plenty Liberian people carry passport, we can identify them, we say no, we get plans already that the government can identify people through the embassies that are outside. Yeah. So what's the big deal? That's why I said the first step to it is for us to get to this instead of making the problems to be the harder in a way that we can't go through. The thing, a simple thing I keep talking about, then Jimas are making it easy. Or I also put all the problem first before we even go register. You see?
All right, anyway, we had a good discussion. It's a fruitful discussion. I think along which I'll start.
Anyway, I'll graduate from elementary school next week.
No, but your question is too elementary sometimes. I don't want to go into that. But I mean, we still repeat the same question. We all know the man told you it's a birthright to vote in Liberia. That's already a done deal. They need to just have the provision in place. That's all. Why are you taking us back there? That's what I'm saying. It's elementary. That's my point. So yeah. Hello? I'm not.
Okay, so I think
Oh, therefore, so are we bringing the guest in on the Friday? I mean the lady. Linfo?
which lady?
The one who asked you, the one that did alternative medicine. I thought you were trying to bring her on the Friday.
No, I've not talked to her.
Okay. All right then. I'll close the show now. I'll have a music to play or Sonic Adiobo did a collaboration.
Okay.
Take us home now.
Take us on.
Okay, well, guys, it was a good show all in all, and we think our guests deliver, and so we'll try to see.
He did.
As the whole process goes on, we'll try to see if we can bring them back to keep us updated, because not everybody in the diaspora will be in this thing. Is like they in a leadership will be pursuing it, and we'll just be in the background to support whatever support they will need, in terms of numbers and whatever. So it was a good show, and we hope that maybe next time we can have, or next Friday, or coming Friday, we can have another guest. We don't know yet, but we're still checking around. And probably we might reach out to the guys in America to hear their view on it too, how they feel. Because this is a two-way thing. The Americans are also part of us, the American Liberians. So we've talked to the other people from Europe. Probably we'll talk to somebody from America too, but that is something that we'll consider. So it was a good show. I want to say thank you very much. So Chima, you can take us home with the music that you have.
Thank you.
I pray my how I'm feel. I yes say how I can feel. No, and I won't be stopping like you. Let's see I start. I'm forced to see the end. My mama, I do it for my land. The girl are talking plenty, but on Monday you get telling you. The wind never pull up for you your shoe. But they always gonna be talking about you. Girl, I'm talking plenty, but on Monday you get telling you. They will never pull out for your shoe. But no, she coming back. No time to waste, I'm here to play, I'm on my way. So every day I pray the money come my way. You in the cheese, you in the fries all day. Talking about me, talking your lies all day. My only hope like the boss, so I win it all day. I be winning all day.
Yeah, boy.
I can't we won't go. Yeah, they got a weak body. You know, we were going to you know, everybody loves money. And nobody wants to go away for honey. So I don't want to make it happy as I say. But can we play with flake queen? When we roll in together, I can oh no, we know how you think, can you know? We make a moment and go. I guess on we did this on one no at your moon.
This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio. This is the Bottom Line Liberia. Join us on Facebook, YouTube and online radio.